How many pellets does it take to change a light bulb? Probably far too many. Probably.
What exactly is a light bulb?
It's something that's illegal.
Oh yeah. At least in California, or the way
Yeah, right.
everybody's still all excited. Yay! Hey, thank you there, Mom. Thank you. Nobody wants to hear about introductions. As this man said, nobody cares about them. They care about how many bedrooms you've run out of, or how many times you've been shot, or something like that. So he told me he's been shot at twice. So I'm going to say that's an awesome one for him. He's a phenomenal reader, phenomenal open micer, and I'm still looking forward to a feature on Buddha 309. Yeah!
It's always purple. Like it's always number 4. You know.
You're getting too...
Yay!
purple or something. Yay.
There you go. Got the beads on tonight. I didn't even know. I didn't even remember today was Mardi Gras. So how y'all doing? Mediocre day! Yeah! Hey, I'm going to do this one to get it out of the way. You should watch Getchik really close while I do the poem.
Can I repeat it?
Sure, if you want to. Right here. Okay, so you ever been in a bar and you're sitting down, you're writing on your napkin, doing whatever you got to do, getting your thoughts in order. Somebody walks in, sits down, orders a beer, and thinks that because you share the same time and moment and space that they're allowed to talk to you. Right? So they go on and on for about 15 minutes, and finally they stop and they make their first mistake, and they ask, "So how are you doing?"
That's when I use this poem.
I want to be a rock! Yeah, big old igneous lying in the sun doing nothing all day rock. I'm sitting here listening to you talk about how much your life, job, relationship, insert whiny ass problem here sucks. I want to be a stone deaf, so listening to you isn't even an afterthought. And my only worries are erosion and that kid that likes to throw me at cars and cops and old ladies. Right? I really want to be a rock. I want to be used in hopscotch and skipped across puddles, hanging around downtown thinking there but for the grace of God go I, because they sold out to the man. I really want to be a rock because nobody expects anything of you but your innate rockness. Mountain to hill, hill to boulder, boulder to stone, stone to pebble, pebble to sand. I want to be a rock, mostly so I don't have to die.
At least I watched, Getchik.
It's pretty funny. I knew it was my signature poem the last time I did it, and Getchik was doing it with me. I don't have a Mardi Gras poem. I do have a poem for Lent, though, which starts at midnight, which isn't as holy or devout as you think it is. It's from the prompt, Jesus doesn't ride this bus anymore. Oh. On the bus route of miracles, from the walls of malls by Midway, through the crawl of K-Town, a quick tourist glimpse of Cook County criminality, down the mazeway where the projects used to shamefully landmark the city, and Richard J's Grand Circle sits, on to the money pits and downtown to the cloud gates. This was the road of midnight sinners seeking redemption. 40 days, cross perched on frail shoulder, Jesus of Little Village would pay exact fare. Robes worn over faded jeans and classic Chuck Taylors. Was he crazy or one of the faithful? Did he ride for his redemption, mine, the city's? How many times did he fall without the offer of help? These are mysteries without a rosary, a forgotten way of the cross. People spit on their messiahs in this town. We have lost our redemption, and no one actually calls it Cloudgate. We visit for a few minutes, stare at the reflections of heaven, charge our fare cards, and make our way home. A purgatorial generation marking regular stops. And Jesus doesn't ride this bus anymore. I'm just going to read a bunch of stuff in order because I tried to do mostly new stuff that y'all haven't heard before or haven't heard a lot. Right? I've been avoiding this paranoia. It's there in your closed eyes behind the coffee cup and turn to the left. Everything floats like little black ghosts in a bottle on a shelf where the pictures of us at Coney Island used to sit. I don't want to think about this, or the raised arm surrendering of roller coaster riding when fear was for the fun of it and life was all batten down the hatches and run like hell. Privateers, pirates, and flim-flam men dealing in tales where love and war have similar endings, and everything floats like rows and rows of bottles holding our little black ghosts, our filthy little demons, and ill-conceived secrets. Okay, I did this when I did them originally. I'll do it again. Paul Simon or Otis Redding?
Paul Simon.
Paul Simon.
Otis Redding.
Yeah.
Okay, hands for Paul.
Otis Redding.
Hands for Otis.
I should.
Otis it is.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay. Sitting on the empty stage in another empty auditorium, the day you called my name and it was early in the morning. Rise and shine, not on the agenda. Sun and dawn and expectation. I'll be smiling tomorrow. Be laughing at your awful jokes, sitting here again tomorrow when you play that acoustic guitar, the 3 chords you know anyway. Evening brings us back. Come on, play it one more time. Watching the shadows dance. The colored rock and roll lights ignoring our signals. Ships in the harbor with no lights. Roll on in concentric circles and never reveal true directions. Then say their quiet goodbyes. I can never read the ends of these stories. Watch my magnificent high-wire denials. Watch them stumble, roll on away from these temporary situations. Again, like a bad habit. Yeah, I said it. I'm not that proud. Sitting on these temporary stages on the backs of horses with broken legs. The show is finally over. Dock my wages and send me home to better songs of lovers that never say goodbye. The magic left the last time you did. Bay rum and clove cigarettes don't make a lifestyle. Watching your colors fade, the memories haven't gone, and tide and time wait for no man, so roll on away from here in search of anywhere and anyone else. I'm laughing at your awful jokes, just like yesterday, sitting in an empty auditorium on an empty stage. The time for leaving left like paper boats in dry dock, rotting in yellow, telling tales of 3-chord songs that the melancholy angels sometimes remember. Bay rum and clove cigarettes wasting us away. Time will heal these wounds. Right. Can anybody tell me why it was the Otis Redding choice? And first word of every line is the lyrics to Sitting on the Dock of the Bay.
All right.
Oh.
Now that you know that, I will do the Paul Simon one.
And you have to guess the song, Parliament song.
Right. Hello in there, darkness, my nemesis, old enemy and best friend. I've bargained with you too many times, come to naught, to less than that. Talk about disappointment with silent platitudes and empty everything. You left me with nothing but reflective echoes again and again, because you like your game a little more than you should. Vision and experience should have taught me better. Softly, like a fool, I fall for the mysterious, creeping mannerisms and macabre charm left on my doorstep, wrapped in lovely packages, its trappings never showing seams or revelations. Seeds of doubt wrapped in the guise of hope springing eternal, while I act both as prophet and pusher. I wanted out. Was that too much to ask? I should be sleeping like those unaware, and the innocent should never see this abyss. The dreamers should have pleasant dreams, vision to sustain them that covers like a blanket on a cold night. Was that too much to ask for? A dream planted and secure in this elusive knowledge? My head swims in this disastrous wake. My brain, turned inside out, lays still and cold. Remains of abused flesh and cigarettes within this dry well. The broken road of my best intentions. A failure of sound and vision of my convoluted past. Silence is all that is left for me. Experiments, yeah.
Form poet.
I am sometimes a form poet, right? But I want to be kind of light and do one of my stupid love poems because Janine really likes my stupid love poems.
I do like your stupid.
Okay. This one's fun, and anybody who grew up in the pre-CD era will appreciate this. Does anybody remember mixtapes? And the first one you ever got from that special someone? You know, the one with that old Journey song on it, and maybe a little Marvin Gaye. You know, you were trying to be subtle, but not too subtle. The creation always happens late at night, half asleep in some sort of, dare we say it, afterglow. And it meant something, and it was nice, and you want to write it all down, but you can't find a pen in the apartment, and it doesn't feel that words on a page will be enough, but you're a writer, and that somehow seems sacrilegious. And so you grab every LP, cassette, and CD you own and decide to build the Frankenstein monster of love. and you sort, and you skip the Black Sabbath because I Am Iron Man sounds like bragging, and this isn't about you, it's about her. And how you feel about her and how you want to make this special. It's supposed to mean something, and you spend hours picking the playlist and writing the playlist and recording it on those cool Sony tapes with the extra slim cases, and all the levels are adjusted so she doesn't have to play with the volume from song to song, and you pat yourself on the back for thinking about her needs after spending 3.5 hours making the perfect 90-minute cassettes. the perfect recorded testament of love. You finally fall asleep and dream of making love under the stars while the tape plays from the car stereo, and she'll have that look in her eyes, the one that says that she knows you care because you remembered that she liked that Billy Joel song, and she remembers that you fucking hate Billy Joel. She calls at 10 a.m. and asks you to meet her for lunch. And you're excited, but calm. The mixtape will explain everything. And over the meal she says she loves you, and you give her the cassette in its extra slim case with the songs listed in the tiniest legible print you could muster. And she walks away because you said nothing, and the tape goes in a pile of a dozen others. Someday she'll listen. Someday she might even understand that mixtapes are flowers, are foot rubs, are romantic evenings. Do you remember mixtapes? I do. And maybe someday she will too. There's just so many things I don't want to attack you with right away. Right? I like that one. That one's okay. I can do that one. That's newish. Right? You guys didn't make the release party for the new issue of ECO, the fabulous issue of ECO, the 4th issue of ECO, once again featuring a poem by Charlie Newman, which he didn't actually really write. I'm going to tell you this story. This way it'll be on like a webcam thing. It'll be on YouTube forever. Right? Esteban Colon is our editor-in-chief, and when you're editing poems, and I'm sure Ralph will testify to this, what you do is you hand the poems to your editorial staff, but you take the names off of them, so they don't know who wrote them, and they can't have any bias about who the author is. Because of an independent mouse slip, Esteban took the second half of one of Charlie's poems and nailed it together with the first half of another one of Charlie's poems, and put it on a separate sheet of paper and sent it out to the editorial staff, which consists of 4 other members besides Esteban, who settles all ties, and is to date the only poem unanimously voted on by all the editors of ECO magazine to be the greatest poem ever, and that it must be in the issue. And then on the day before we go to press, Esteban calls me up and says, and I quote, oh shit, fuck, what are we gonna do? And so I call Charlie, and I say, Charlie, this is what's going on. And I tell him the story I just told you. Let me send you what this thing looks like, and tell me if you like it. So I sent it to Charlie, and he says, this is fabulous. I wish I would have actually written it. And I said, technically you did. So in the new issue of Exec Change Only, Charlie's poem is marked as attributed to Charlie Newman. And oddly enough, because Charlie doesn't title the pieces ever of anything he submits, right? We've been calling it by the first word of the poem, which was amputations. That's a little bit of irony on that. But this is the poem I wrote for the release party, and our theme that night was there were 2 halves. There were, controlling the universe, submitting your will on the universe, and the other half was the universe strikes back. And this was the first poem of the universe strikes back part. Mythologically speaking, the elephants support the pillars hold the bowl holds the water that contains the island. This is the world, all resting on the back of an enormous turtle without a name. I am aware of these things. This morning I woke up from a dream. I was talking to a turtle without a name, and he slowly tilted his great head in an attempt to warn me about the consequences of karma. A flaming rock cracked open his skull, and the butterflies of chaos scattered. I hate these premonitions. My significance, cosmically speaking, is that of a mosquito among 7 billion other mosquitoes, each and every one carrying a loaded agenda. Speaking in cliches, we have been warned. What we reap is what we sow. Garbage in, garbage out. What goes around comes around. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. My existence is that of a pebble tossed into a puddle. My bad deeds a minor disturbance in the force, joining with your transgressions and hers and his. Every tiny bite, every mosquito agenda. The great turtle flinches, the elephant stumbles, the bowl shifts, water splashes over, the island spins, and New Orleans is nearly destroyed. Mudslides overtake Brazil, tsunamis devastate Indonesia, earthquakes in Nevada, and we all shout, "Why?" Never looking in the mirror, never thinking that it could be me or you or that stranger on the train. Waves and ripples of our collective karma, ripping and prodding at the turtle shell like a wild kid smacking a cosmic piñata. We're all gonna die. Judgment Day is coming, or has it already come? The ozone is depleting, the ice caps are melting because I flipped off the driver in front of me, because I cheated on my taxes, or my wife. Birds are falling from the sky. I forgot your birthday again. It won't stop raining, and I'm sorry. The elephants support the pillars. The pillars hold the bowl holds the water that contains the island. This is the world, all resting on the back of an enormous turtle without a name. I am aware of these things, but often forget the turtle is standing on me.
Yeah.
Crazy poem, crazy poem, crazy poem.
Yes.
You are killing me again! With every knock on the door, with every foxhole written missive, it's me, the universal target. There are no simple things, nothing trite or meaningless. I am the king of gravity, not the digger of graves. I am the messenger, the mess singer. I'm here to tell you that Juliet is dead, that Augustus is no longer your lover, that Timmy has fallen down the well, that shots were fired in Dallas, that all you need is love. You are killing me again. Crucified, hung, repeatedly shot in the head, and you ask my understanding that it was nothing to do with me, but rather the words I've spoken. I am the predecessor of wars and marriages and children, Cupid, stork, or envoy. I live for the day when someone smiles at my good news. Someone always cries, from Jesus to Dr. King, pallbearer, torchbearer, harbinger, pariah. I am the messenger, and you keep finding ways to kill me. That was not a political poem at all. I printed these out today, and you know when you're going through the printer thing, and you highlight a bunch of stuff, and you go over and it says print selection, it doesn't keep your hard stop page breaks. And so this is like, this thing has 3 poems in it, and I don't know where they start or where they end.
Oh.
Well, I do. This is a personal poem about when I was a little kid. Story. This is called Before the Blizzard of 1970. To me, it was just snow and midnight quiet. Standing there under blue streetlights, the world was still big and time still moved slowly. At the age of 10 and a half, my thoughts were older, standing in rubber boots and pajamas, staring at the few stars that the city allowed. I've come to the conclusion that I don't want to turn 12. 12 is when they expect things from you. Adult things, like composure and self-control. They don't believe things like sneaking out in the middle of the night to watch the snow fall. I took the dog for safety. Granted, the dog is a Manchester toy terrier wrapped in my jacket because she would drown in the snow. But this may be the time that I look at the sky with awe and wonder. When I turn 12, I'll have to curse the snow as a hazard. It'll be more about shoveling and less about snowballs and forts and sleds and quiet, like right now. In an hour, they'll notice the missing dog, the missing me. I'll be grounded, left to ponder childhood's end. And all I wanted was a moment to really remember that snow used to be fun. Okay, that's Oh, wow. This is a razor blade love poem. It's a razor blade love poem. That's kind of love poems that are sharp and can cut you on. Right? Sometimes you sit in the dark smoking leftover cigarettes, cursing at the television, watching the fish float. You're whispering again about barbed wire. I wonder if you're alive or an avatar, a deceptive piece of art representing melancholy. Sometimes you cry at inappropriate radio songs or when Clark kissed Claudette and the walls fell. I want to see inside your brain, spill out the insides and categorize the emotions by height and popularity. Sometimes there are noises from the back of your skull moving with tidal wave destruction. Fascinated, you gaze, hypnotized by the light falling on your face through the bedroom window. This old debate runs through my brain. Were you made, or did you just happen? I should put these things out of my head, cut them away like cancer, and I can't. Sometimes you lay on the couch, heart and breath in synergistic rhythm. I don't question. Sometimes you're an angel. I'm doing this poem for Robin. It's going to take me a second to wipe out all the fun and games we've been having for a second. I'm trying to find a universe in a box of odds and ends. I'm not sleeping. My fingers tingle with a power to throw the blame at you. A million voices are spelling a million different words, all of them colors of infinity, splash it out on the walls like cuts in flesh. I am thinking about the sound, bones crushing on concrete, leaving overflowing bags of viscera with names, and it's all your fault! All the dreams and all the signs and the babbling point to you or me or that shadow grinning in the corner. I am what my synapses tell me. The quaking to the nerve endings, spinning, shaking, Tasmanian twisting. Words stuck in vocal cord cages, this supernatural rage in my hands move independently, and I want I want your wind, your breath, your life. Consequences be damned. Anything to stop these thoughts and tremors. I am meant to be beyond this rage. And the waves crash, splintering off sections of psyche, leaving them on the shore. Driftwood and old bits of broken glass, worn and wandering amidst the inner landscape, all razor wire and keep off the grass! I am not a fan of this falling down, this breaking down, this constant tumbling, this fate is meant to have a master, this soul, a place in somebody's heaven somewhere, and I have a light but no compass, no roadmap, no shoulders left to cry on. I am not the Atlas I was meant to be. Turn me to stone or share my burden. I am big. I am not strong. And these worldly infractions conspire to grind me into the ground. Well, we get that. I never get to do this poem. So wait, first of all, how much time do I have left?
All night, 2 minutes. Two poems.
Two more poems.
I'd say one, maybe two, yeah.
Right? Whenever somebody asks that question, the answer is always 2 more poems. We're doomed. Brothers and sisters, pay attention. I said, brothers and sisters, pay attention. Join me on this crusade. I'm waiting for the bus to the river. Waiting for the bus to the water. Waiting for the bus to salvation. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
You guys are good. To be born again in the Word. This is not theistic. I heard it from the shaman who told me through the shaking of bones and radio wires that the words we speak are not for the meek. Messages written on walls with spray paint and Sharpie. The places we live have stories to tell if we listen. No one listens, can't afford to listen. Something might stick. Something might make sense. We may be inspired. Waiting for the bus to the water. Waiting for the bus to wash in the words. Here I lay down the sword in favor of the mightiest of weapons. This is not a signal to noise, but the gathering of forces. The Colonel thinks, I said the Colonel thinks, we might be the final generation of actual riders. The battle, however noble, may be lost. I'd cry, but here in the Midwest we are less sentimental. The road signs have been covered with the mantra of America's next top model, and this never comes to the privileged and beautiful. It is reserved, I say reserved for the caged who roam free, who stand on corners waiting for word explosions like a theoretical poetry bomb. Terrorists of verse, claiming unsuspecting victims, waiting for the bus to the river, to the water. For today we are baptized with the fire, the water, and the bleeding word that falls for this almost lost generation. I never get to do that.
Woo! I like that.
Okay?
I'm not sure I ever heard you do that.
I've heard.
Okay? I'm going to close with what Chris Gallinari would consider my signature.
All right.
Okay? This is called A Thought, a Box, a Grave. I'm sure you've all heard it. Okay? Beg the weary dead and beat drums for their counsel. Temptations of the times spread as the unwelcome taste of bile, leaving the societal relevance of mice in mazes drinking gin as likely agents of better days. I quit. I give up hope on a humanity that refuses to be anything. Beyond saloon doors under your breath, you call me a quitter and belittle my thoughts as a wart on a preposterous giant. But in the heart of the self of it, underneath the goofy, sheepish no reactions, you fear the so-called quitters like me. Beneath the surface tension, you understand that with the simple export of preconception, you could be me, and it frightens you. It mixes the black and white with aqua and burgundy. It crosses the spelling bee with the melodic la ti do's, and you can step to the line, but you cannot cross it. So you change the notions. You re-envision me as a porky, fez-wearing hermit atop a sand dune, smiling and eating a jam sandwich. And this fits into the box. Outside its imagined protection is boiling, burning lava, and people who yen and yearn for love, imagination, and other irrational beasts, breathing life rather than waiting for the punchline. And you block it out thinking about politics or golf scores, but this is a theoretical divot, replaced by strange new concepts like peace, freedom, sushi, and things prepared in a wok. Your box has a hole. Falling apart, you rationalize and repair, but shit covered in sauce still tastes like shit. Pick up the drum as I plead to the weary ghosts as they reply, the one who recognizes and atones for misconceptions is free, forgiven, and blessed. Boxes are only good for the honored dead. Yeah, thank you very much. That was wonderful.
And ladies and gentlemen, I don't think that was loud enough. Get up one more time. We're going to do it out. Now, you poor sorry folks, we've got just over an hour to still be celebrating for Mardi Gras. I've got my gold and my green, and you've got the purple with me. You're doing it for Mardi Mardi Gras, and then it's going to be Ash Wednesday, so you have to come with that. But if you want another reason to celebrate, you'll have to come here next week to hear, actually, Dan Cleary. Yeah, everything after, and everything after Mardi Gras just gets better and better. We got Dan Cleary, we got Tom Roby the week after that, Janine Robinson after that. We've got a month of awesome stuff. If you want to know any information, you can go to chaoticarts.org/thecafe. You can see this as podcasts. You can see this on YouTube clips. And thank you so very much. I look forward to seeing you guys all next week at the cafe.